Here's this man screaming. He said, dance.
Something about the case, I ain't gonna lie, always told me that Meg the Stallion was lying. I just didn't believe something about the story. The story was weird. Why would Tory Lanez shoot Meg the Stallion? So the story never made sense to me. But most recently, the bodyguard who was driving Meg the Stallion and her friend Kelsey Harris, the bodyguard has come forward. He's not bound by any type of legal non-disclosure or anything like that. So he came forward out of guilt because he feel like Tory Lanez has been sitting in jail. Now, as an innocent man, he's gotten a 10-year sentence for this crime, which was a little bit way overboard, as we all know if you looked into it. But anyway, he came out and said that he overheard Kelsey Harris, who is Meg the Stallion's assistant and or best friend. She is actually the one who shot at Meg the Stallion during an argument, and Tory tried to break up the fight and knock the gun out of Kelsey Harris's hand, and then the gun dropped and discharged 2 more times. So needless to say, he came forward. The bodyguard came forward. Now, the bodyguard is Bradley James, if I'm not mistaken. He came forward to unite the people. Now, unite the people is like a, if you liken it to, they're a group of lawyers and activists who, fight for the innocent, almost like if you liken it to the Innocence Project. So he came forward with this information to them. They have now, sought to get Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, to pardon Tory Lanez, or at minimum at least get the current district attorney to grant Tory Lanez a new trial. Now, as this has come forward the past couple of days, as soon as he came forward, ironically, this wild dude on the right, the Spanish guy, he stabbed Tory Lanez 14 times. So
he presented new evidence that suggests he never fired the weapon the night Megan the Stallion was shot.
Because the truth is, Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence for a crime that evidence, which laid out here today, overwhelmingly suggests he did not commit. Let's go back to the night in question, just like Gianna was just talking about in the attorneys. As the attorneys laid out here today, the prosecution failed to produce a single shred of forensic evidence tying Tory to the actual gun. His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found to be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet that was provided to the defense late on the eve of the actual trial, after making a request for that very document. After trial, looking at this evidence, there is a 0.01% chance Tory's DNA was on the firearm. That's a difficult statistic to equate with the story as told by the prosecution, which may be why this was not present in trial. In fact, there were 3 people that night at the scene who tested positive for gunshot residues. One of those was Kelsey Harris, as Gianno mentioned, the assistant to Megan Pete. According to multiple sworn testaments that you've heard today, including one from the bodyguard and driver with Harris on the 2 days of the trial, Harris admitted to firing the weapon during an emotional outburst. Tory intervened to de-escalate, not to harm. It is important to note, the police did not fingerprint anyone else who had gunshot residue on them that night, only Tory. Why?
They got to get Tory Lanez either in super protective custody, or they got to get him pardoned, because somebody's trying to kill him. And I'm not a big person on conspiracy theories, but it is interesting that as soon as this evidence was brought to light, he was just stabbed up. Somebody was trying to take him out,
There was an argument in the car?
It was an argument because I was ready to go and everybody else wasn't ready to go. Mm-hmm. But that's like normal friend stuff. Like, we fuss about silly stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. But I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And I was so
is he in the car shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even want to move.
Nah, I think it was her friend that said dance bitch. That's what I think. I think it was her friend that said that, right? I think she got into it, and old girl Kelsey Harris said dance bitch and started shooting. That's what I think happened.
Move too quick, like, cause I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like,
Were you afraid for your life at that
I was
time?
really scared because I had never been shot at before.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gail King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. But she's always wanna talk about this shooting. Why'd you ask me about fucking Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I was, I fucked this nigga like once, maybe twice on a drunk night. But you kept catching me out of my fucking mind.
You know, with this new evidence, the bodyguard is testifying to that. They also have a non-related party or someone who wasn't in that party who also testified to hearing and seeing two women arguing. So that is probably Meg the Stallion and her friend Kelsey who were arguing. So they have someone else with that too. Now, if this comes out, which, you know, what's done in the dark comes to light at the end of the day. Now, they are going for a new trial. Hopefully he gets a pardon, to be honest with you, but they're going for a new trial. When this stuff comes out, Meg the Stallion is going to be finished because, you know, when you sit there and lie like that and you go on interviews and lie, and then you have this guy sitting in jail. For me, I can't understand having someone who's innocent sitting in jail. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. And I think at the end of the day, they should have just told the truth and had the girl, because the girl Kelsey, you know, if you don't know, she, for whatever reason, the prosecution offered her immunity. And I don't really understand why they offered her immunity, because you don't offer someone immunity if they did nothing. So for whatever reason, Kelsey Harris, the person I'm talking about, her best friend or assistant, got immunity from the prosecution, and she also pled the fifth as far as answering questions. So it's a weird situation, but honestly, I think she's lying, and I kind of felt like that from the beginning, and the story to me finally makes sense. So, you know, definitely free Tory Lanez. Let's hope that he recovers. Being stabbed 14 times, man, listen, he's lucky to even be alive, man. And like I said, it's fishy that all this is happening right now as far as the stabbing. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think Megan was lying from the beginning? I always felt like the story was fishy. So let me know what you think in the comments. Crucial Convo.